Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in a series with Rudan and Nicker. You see Rudan spawning as the brown Night Elf on the bottom right hand side of Terranistan. Meanwhile, Nicker spawning as the purple Night Elf on the top left. Now, as you guys are all aware, Terranistan is a rather small map, so what's going to end up happening is that the players are going to try and creep out their creep camps, maybe get up to level 3, and then at some point, I think around level 3, it's going to be better for them to start engaging against each other. The reason is, even though the map is small, the bigger item or the bigger issue is that there is not that many high-level creep camps. And oh, I absolutely hate the fact that he chose brown. Brown is a very, very difficult color to spot on the minimap. My apologies already if I miss anything that's happening down over here. You can see it, Demon Hunter off over here now, and Goblin Laboratory already creeped out both sides, picking up those respective items. Gloves of Haste, Mantle of Intelligence versus a Circlet of Nobility and a Cloak of Shadows. Alright, Demon Hunter may try and go ahead and creep out this creep camp, letting that Ancient of War tanking a bit more of that damage. Meanwhile, off to the north here as well, we're going to be seeing Nicker do the same thing. Creep patterns, pretty much the same exact thing on both sides, as both people are teching, nope, not teching the tier 2 as of yet. Tree of Life, Rudan actually teching the tier 2 a bit faster than Nicker. We'll see what comes of this, what is the strategy behind it. As you see now, there's going to be about a 2 wisp delay, about a 2 wisp timing delay in terms of building. Let's take a look at the supply, 23 over 30 compared to 20 over 30, Definitely may even be 3 wisp at this point, as we're looking at Nicker clear out this forest troll camp over here at the Goblin Merchant Shop. Both sides pretty much cleared out. Rudan has a bit of a lead in terms of the foot race in trying to clear out creep camps. But then again, I believe Nicker should have a bit more lumber. Yes, he does. He has more lumber since he does have more wisp harvesting, and that may help him in the end when he does get to tier 2. Now, during that time it takes to tech to tier 2, you're going to be harvesting as much lumber as you have wisp, and you're not going to be able to train any wisp additionally during that time. Because of that, you're going to see Rudan continue to fall further and further behind in the lumber count. Was it now 208 compared to 211? But there was also one Moonwell difference between the two as well. So that is going to be just more of an indicator of what is going on here. Now let's take a look at what Rudan is going for. He's sitting at 19 over 40 supply. He hasn't built any Ancients of Lore yet. And I'm wondering if we are going to be seeing a tech to tier 3. Tier 3 is a very common in Night Elf versus Night Elf because of the use of bears. Also, Keeper of the Grove has become an increasingly popular second hero of choice, as players want to use Entangle to try and shut down bears, but also getting that all-important Thorns aura. Dryad is the natural counter to that Entangle if you abolish magic. So it looks like we are going to have a straight-up mirror match, and it may come down to who has more bears teched at the right time in terms of overall. In terms of everything overall. A little bit lucky there, using the Dust of Appearance on his opponent's Sentry Ward right there. Both sides mana burning each other, so both sides losing about 150 mana, as the Demon Hunter is now doing a bit of chasing. There's a Shadow Melded Archer right off over there. Demon Hunter gonna come in. There is the mana burns again. 61 mana compared to 31. That Circlet of Nobility making the difference right there, as the Archer's now trying to back off. Alright, Demon Hunter does in fact have Boots of Speed. Archer not going to be able to get away, and there it goes. Rudan now going to be in a little bit of trouble. As you can see, a little bit more damage coming through. Are we going to try to do a little box through? Yes, we are, and Rudan taking a little bit more damage. That Demon Hunter down to 347 hit points. He's going to use some Moonwell, get some more mana, but more importantly, we're going to see an Entangle. Nope, no Entangle go down on that Demon Hunter or the Huntress. That was a bit of a surprise. We may see the transfer of the Boots of Speed eventually to that Keeper of the Grove, as the Keeper of the Grove chasing down units would be very, very helpful. Alright, Wisp gonna go ahead and aggro the creeps off over here. Let's take a look. No, doesn't aggro the creeps. There's the detonation before the Keeper of the Grove's missile attack finally hits its target. Alright, Keeper of the Grove about to make its way out over here as well. Now, one sign that you really didn't see earlier is the amount of Moonwell mana that was used. Rudan used pretty much all of the Moonwell mana from one of these Moonwells to replace not only the hit points, but a good bit of mana as well. That's going to hurt in the long run as the Renegade Wizard takes some mana burn there. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and take a look off over here. There is an Ancient of War and a beautiful play by Rudan here, but the Keeper of the Grove does get an entangle off. Mana burn is the Keeper, or is the Demon Hunter, yes, gonna be forced to use that Scroll of Town Portal there. The remaining units trying to chase, not gonna be as successful, as the Keeper of the Grove could turn around and go after the remaining Enforcers and the remaining units. Now that Renegade Wizard was already taken down. There goes one Enforcer. Oh, the Enforcer is just Shadow Melted. There it goes. Finally breaks free from that Shadow Melt. It's gonna get taken down right there. Level 3 on the Demon Hunter, level 1 on that Keeper of the Grove. Meanwhile, level 3, level 1 respectively, but we do have that Devotion Aura, that additional +1 armor for all units. 6% effective hit point bonus across the board as we're looking at the Enforcer now, trying to step back. Alright, we can see that that Renegade Wizard most likely will get taken down. There's a Lightning Shield onto Rudan's Archer. You want to make sure that Lightning Shield does not actually kill any units. It will deny experience and any gold that you would have normally gotten. Alright, double Devotion Aura, perhaps the least useful item to actually get, as we see the Ancient of War still taking a fair bit of damage here from the Brigands. Back off to the north here, Mana Burn coming through. Keeper of the, or Demon Hunter quickly sells the Devotion Aura and picks up an Orb of Venom. Very, very smart item there, as that is a very high damage dealing attack. All right, Lightning Shield now on to the Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter going to be able to do a fair bit of damage right here. He could go after the Druids of the Claw, and that's actually going to be a bit of a surprise there. As you can see, so much damage being dealt. However, during that time, Nicker did end up losing his own Keeper of the Grove, but we're looking at a continuing fight here. All right, is that Dryad going to get taken down? Dryad down to 38 hit points. It gets taken out as the fight is going to continue once more. Another mana burn, pretty much out of mana there. All right, and there is a bit more damage again. It does not look like, ooh, Staff of Preservation saving that Huntress as we are all retreating back once more. So far, this has been a pretty evenly matched up fight. I would say that Rudan has a slight advantage over Nicker at this stage, as the Demon Hunter going to get some extra damage onto a Dryad. All right, Demon Hunter purposely getting himself in harm's way to try to protect that Dryad, as we're looking at a 38 over 50 supply compared to 38 over 50. The items, however, are better for Rudan, as he does already have that Orb of Venom. And I believe he's gotten a bit more gold as well. Orb of Venom, oh no, not yet picked up. That is a big surprise. Tree of Eternity was not even done yet. So it's going to be quite some time before we even get Mastery Training. Now let's take a look at the Mastery Training status. Yep, we already have Mastery Training. As you guys saw earlier, Rudan was able to transform one of those Druids of the Claw into a bear. Very, very high damage. Very, very high hit points. Very useful, as we're now looking back over here at this creep camp. Nicker trying to catch up in terms of the lost gold from all of the creep camps that Rudan was able to kind of sneak away from him. Your creeps on your side of the map is another commodity or another resource, so to speak, that gives you a little bit of an advantage. By having Rudan take down the Renegade Wizard off to the north and picking up that Devotion Aura item, that is the expensive item from that creep camp, and that is pretty much, I think, 200 gold when you actually sell that item. So that goes to show you how big of a difference that one item could be, especially as you look at Nicker, who does not have an Orb of Venom on this Demon Hunter and probably could have had one if he sold his Devotion Aura as well. All right, bears still being trained. There's that last Druid of the Claw being added. Demon Hunter gonna pick up, come on, pick up that Ring of Protection +2. Keeper of the Grove, curiously, he's the one with the Orb of Venom, but then again, it's not that unheard of to give the Keeper of the Grove the Orb of Venom, as he does have the range attack, and he's able to split apart all of that Orb of Venom damage to multiple units better than that Demon Hunter. All right, are we going to see a bit of a transition from the Demon Hunter having the Orb of Venom into the Keeper of the Grove having Orb of Venom. We'll keep an eye on that. If Nicker comes out ahead, I would have to watch Nicker's Keeper of the Grove and make sure that if the Keeper of the Grove is constantly changing targets, that is going to be one of the main reasons why he wins this fight, or why he won the game, constantly spreading out that damage over time bonus. All right, mana burn onto the Keeper of the Grove, losing 100 mana. That is in fact a very big deal. Now back up to 225 mana. That Keeper of the Grove wants to get a Clarity Potion perhaps, or something else. Meanwhile, back off over here, you can see the Druids of the Claws, all of them have Rejuvenation, and Rudan even has a Wisp in the mix. All right, let's go ahead and go into the engagement here. That one Druid of the, or that one Dryad trying to back off here. The Bear is now going into engagement. There is an entangle onto Nicker's unit. There is the Scrolls of Protection now being used. Detonations will be coming down. They've got to be. Where are they going? Why are they not removing the Scroll of Protection? Every bit of armor makes a big difference. And wow, that every bit of armor, that extra 2 armor, they're going to be causing more problems. All right, let's take a look. Nicker trying to save all of his Druids of the Claws, but even fighting in front of those Moonwells, not enough. The Druid of the Claw doing his best, trying to spread apart the damage. Now we can see Demon Hunter with the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. He'll be invulnerable for a little while longer. Both sides continuing to engage. Rudan now trying to escape with that Keeper of the Grove. Is he going to be able to get out? No, he does not. Nicker able to finish that off there. Staff of Preservation saving another unit. Dryad now coming back the other way. Bears are still fighting here. Nicker, and what is going on? Nicker's units are going to be forced to retreat. Rudan has a very, very high level Demon Hunter in the front position, and as long as you can actually focus down the necessary unit, things could actually go fairly well. All right, that is a lot of bears to try to engage, though. The Ancient of Lore, oh, this one poor bear does not get the memo that he should not be in that fight here. Demon Hunter now in a little bit of trouble. Is he going to survive? Oh, Demon Hunter down to pretty much nothing, as Scroll of Town Portal now coming through. All right, let's take a look at this Rejuvenation. Scroll of Town Portal going back the other way, and wow, both sides suffering heavy losses. Nicker at 34/60 compared to Rudan's 49/50. And as I take a look at Rudan's army, so many units were in the red, but they're going to be able to heal back up and not have any problems. That is a very big deal. And as we are now looking at the Keeper of the Grove looking to get resurrected. All right, Nicker has a lot of work to do if he expects to be able to come back out on top. An Ancient of War going to get taken down. Level 4 on the Demon Hunter for Nicker. I believe Rudan also has a level 4 Demon Hunter, almost level 5 going into this next fight. And he is healing back up. All right, good strategy by Rudan, keeping all of his Druids of the Claw in Druid form to try and collect and store up more mana. That's going to be important. I believe once the Keeper of the Grove is back out, Rudan is going to be moving out. Meanwhile, Nicker trying to get every bit of gold he can from the map, trying to do his best, gonna grab a little bit of gold off of the the creeps over here on the top right. Should be able to train up one more bear. Yeah, gonna train up one more bear right now. Needs a little bit more time to train up another, and we'll see how this all works out. It's going to be 49/60 supply compared to, I think, 57/60. Rudan could easily place down more Moonwells and perhaps even engage with a 70-size army. This is not going to be looking good. All right, there's the engagement. There is the Roar. There's the Entangle. Dryads coming through. Mana burn. Roar on both sides, as well as the Druid of the Claw needs to go into bear form, and in a hurry. Nicker saves one of his low hit point bears, and now trying to run away still. Level 5 on Rudan's Demon Hunter. Oh, mana burn as he teleports away just in time. Rudan losing a bunch of his, or losing a bear there, as the units will need to be retreating here. All right, there's another bear coming in. Nicker now going to be in full retreat. You see a whole bunch of bears now trying to retreat here. And what's going to be happening? All right, Rudan trying to run in with that one very, very low hit point Keeper of the Grove. The Keeper of the Grove is in trouble. Demon Hunter now trying to run away. It's going to be able to get back home. And now this bear, who did not continue to run back, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but that is just a hard break for Nicker. Nicker now in serious problems as he is down to 38/60 supply. Rudan at 57/60, pretty much not losing any ground in the supply race And I think this is going to be the final battle. Demon Hunter comes in with 132 mana burn, trying to just push through here. There is a very, very narrow choke point here. Even the Ancient of Lore getting in onto the action, but Staff of Preservation should be able to save a handful of units. Yes, there's one Staff of Preservation saving a low hit point unit. Druid of the Claws, now Rejuvenation, trying to fight off in the back as well. Another Druid of the Claw, very, very low on hit points. No glaives, no ranged attack to try and take that down. It could perhaps try and go back into Druid form to rejuvenate himself. Meanwhile, Nicker is still continuing this fight. There's a mana burn there. Rudan trying to save his units as he's able to do that just ever so temporarily. All right, very low hit point Druid of the Claw, now trying to head back there. There is another attack there. Rudan continuing this pressure inside Nicker's base, and you can see the attack coming through. Oh, taking down that bear, no problem whatsoever. Now going to be going after another Staff of Preservation, just teleports him right behind him. And there is the GG. Rudan takes game 1. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game number 2.